So, have you had a good Christmas?
It's not over yet. I mean, technically, it isn't over yet. The
Oh, that's
the
true.
Christmas, as I call it, the Christmas
The
is
Christmas.
not over yet. While many people are, well, the thing is that I'm working through, I have to work through the holidays anyway
Mm.
because I teach internationally. So I had one day off, and then, like I said, Friday I had six students, amazingly. So I didn't have a choice.
Take the day off.
Be here all the earlier the next morning.
It is what it is. So I really, for me, the holiday season goes from, I keep the Christmas from the 6th of December, which is the, I mean, some people go, from the beginning of Advent,
Mm-hmm.
but, or even from Black Friday, but the 6th of December is St. Nicholas Day. And then all the way until like January 13th is King Canute's Day.
Hmm.
Or if you're part of the Eastern Orthodox, which I am not, uh, it goes to Yulenka,
Hmm.
which is their end of Christmas time. And so that's when like the trees get thrown out and all that kind of thing. I have two plastic trees, so they don't get thrown out; they just get put away. But even so, I keep them up until Bridget's Day, which is the tradition. So remember, kids, if you take your trees down on Boxing Day, Santa's not coming next year.
Yeah, it's so sad. It's so unfortunate. I think we touched on this in the Christmas quiz,
Hmm.
but I find it quite depressing the amount of times that people around, just in England, basically, and also, frankly, growing up in Wales, Boxing Day, people just took their stuff down, and suddenly you're back in grey, miserable.
Well, it did make sense. It did make sense in the original. So Christmas trees came from Adam and Eve's Day on the 24th,
Hmm.
when they're meant to represent the tree of paradise, and the red baubles are supposed to be apples, etc. And it made sense in a pre-Victorian world because it was a German tradition that kind of started in and around the region of Freiburg, which is why all the trees are spruce trees,
Hmm.
and why they don't exist and have anything to do with Christmas traditionally. So they did put it up on the 24th because that was the day of Adam and Eve's Day. That was, and then they took them down after Christmas.
Okay.
People did, and so it made sense. But when Christmas trees were brought to England by Queen Charlotte, and then obviously extension by Queen Victoria, who made them popular, gifting times were all over the place. People
Hmm.
gave gifts on, Queen Victoria famously gave gifts on New Year's. And some people, guys, we were talking before, people got stuff for, children got stuff for St. Nicholas Day on the 6th, if
Hmm.
they were Catholic. And other people got stuff on January 6th and in some countries, Catholic countries, they still do have to get gifts on the 6th.
Hmm.
So, this whole idea of people getting Santa coming and giving gifts on the 25th is really a North American idea started by Clement Clark Moore. And so, if you want to take down your tree on the 26th, technically it's not wrong, but in many cultures it is bad luck. So
Well, but it's also just uh it's
it's
just
just sad.
sad.
It
Yeah,
is sad.
just sad. I mean, so yes, we will be taking ours down on the 6th of January. I know you
So
can't.
you leave it up for 12th night?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you make a cake and dance around the tree?
If only we did. No, we don't. No, we'll have to do that. We'll have to do that. Anyway, I could talk to you all day about our Christmas presents, but we have a Christmas present to deliver. Belated.
Which is news from archaeology, history, and the cultural sphere.
Yes, yes. It's wrapped in the only the best and most beautiful way, gift wrapped for folks at home to enjoy. And in this episode, what we're going to have is, well, what I've got anyway, are two fun stories, two good stories, plus a favourite archaeological find from 2025. So, do you want to go first?
My first story is about a very good boy or girl. A
Ah,
Neolithic dog found carefully buried at the bottom of an ancient Swedish lake
ah,
with a bone dagger. Very, very good. So this is Mark will show the really beautiful
uh-huh.
mummified dog that they found at the bottom of the lake. Really amazing. And it says in the lake sediments of the Log Logs Jomosen, sorry if I butchered the Swedish of that, on the outskirts of Yarna. southwest of Stockholm, a team of archaeologists, part of the Swedish National Historical Museums, has recovered a silent and extraordinary testimony of the relationship between Neolithic humans and the animal that was already their companion. It's a complete skeleton and exceptional preservation of a dog deliberately deposited about 5 millennia ago alongside a finely polished bone dagger, a funerary assemblage that gives this discovery almost unique character in the context of Scandinavian prehistory. The work, carried out during the fall in parallel with foundation works for the future embankment, of the new train line that they're doing, brought to light in the deepest layers of the. See, sometimes projects are good, kids, but not when they're under Stonehenge. Brought to light in the deepest layers of the ancient lake bed, remains of the canine which lay at the depth of 1.5 meters, pretty far down, and an estimated distance of 30 to 40 meters from what was once the shore. The area, which today forms a 3,500 square meter peat bog, always the bog, was then a crystal clear lake, a space of economic use, as this discovery suggests, also of, oh no, Mark, oh no,
Oh.
also of ritual
Ah!
significance for human communities of the 4th millennium BCE. And the animal, according to the preliminary osteological assessment carried out in situ, was male, oh, a good boy, of powerful build, a large size dog for its time, with shoulder height of 52 centimeters. Its age at death is estimated between 3 and 6 years, and marks on its skeleton indicate it led an active life. There you go.
Nice. No, that is absolutely adorable. And what's beautiful about that as well is that there is this sort of continuity that absolutely rings true. Obviously, for anyone and everyone who's ever known a dog, it's very relatable. I think on screen right now, you're probably going to be seeing a couple of pictures of Morty from this Christmas, just being amazing.
Morning!
Yeah, exactly.
Who was not allowed in the Christmas quiz, Mark.
He wasn't. No, for reasons.
Not nice.
But also as well, it's interesting because there's this thing about rituals and bogs. We know that through into the Iron Age, people were obviously famously still using bogs to deposit things. Whether that was because they knew stuff preserved in a bog or because the bog was a place where they had connotations and associations and therefore rituals grow up around them, it's not entirely clear. But thank God for bogs, because without them, you wouldn't have all this.
That humic acid, man, preserves so much. What's your first story, Mark?
I have a story of a feast. Obviously, this time of year is a feasting time of year, and this is a feast from Africa. The remains of likely a funeral feast were discovered in a 4,000-year-old jug in Africa, specifically in Sudan, and it's revealed the first evidence of an unknown funerary ritual which took place nearly 4,000 years ago in a little-known African kingdom. In the grave, archaeologists discovered a ceramic vessel that contained charred plant and wood remains, animal bones, and pieces of insects, all of which the team thinks were the remains of a funeral feast or a meal. We do not know of any similar case, study co-author Henryk Pana, an archaeologist at the Polish Centre of Mediterranean Archaeology in the University of Warsaw, said in an email to the author of this article in Live Science. And this is precisely what makes our discovery mysterious and even unusual, as we do not understand the significance of this ritual. Now, to be fair, this is highly likely to be ritual, in so much as deposition of rubbish can happen in almost any way, but when it's as we in archaeology call it, structured deposition, carefully, especially within something like a pot, it's probably been put in there in a specific order, in a specific way, to achieve specific outcomes, namely a ritual. The study was published on the 13th of November in the journal Azania, and researchers described the burial of a middle-aged man, which they found in 2018 during an archaeological survey project in the Bayuda Desert in northeast Sudan. The grave was dated between 2050 and 1750 BC, meaning that the man was likely part of the kingdom of Kerma, an early Nubian civilization that neighbored ancient Egypt, which itself is interesting as well, because early ancient Egyptian stuff is not dissimilar to some of these sorts of concepts and burials.
Good old Nubians.
Yeah. Within the burial,
God's love Nubia, a glorious creation.
okay, thank you.
Aida comes to mind every time.
Within the burial, which had an oval mound of dirt on top of it, archaeologists discovered the male skeleton, 2 ceramic vessels placed behind his head, and 82 blue glazed ceramic disc beads around his neck. So it's a meal in a pot. It's a one pot wonder.
Oh, you know what? You know this reminds me of potted beef, where they would take the cold beef and then they would put the dripping over it and then they'd seal it like that, and then you'd have potted beef for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So I posit, I understand that maybe it's ritual,
Yeah.
but what if it's a way of food preservation instead?
I think unlikely.
Unlikely in this case, it's
Well,
not a meat or something that would go up.
given I think the contents being a combination of as it were biological variables like wood. You know,
Fair enough.
there could be stuff in wood that would make it impossible or unlikely to survive any length of time.
Wood's edible. I just don't recommend it.
No, exactly.
You can lick your spoon and you can eat it too.
So that was a wee little feast for our feasting season.
So since everybody likes to fight with their family members this time of year, a friend of mine actually brought this story to my attention.
Uh-huh.
I actually knew about it, but I didn't talk about it but he was very adamant and very keen, thank you, Vadim, on the new research. And I'll read you the headline, and then you will either go, what? Or, "Well." And so the headline for this one comes from The Guardian. It's new research may rewrite origins of the Book of Kells. So it says, author challenges assumptions that the monks on Iona created the manuscript, instead positing its origins are Pictish. And I went, eh. But my friend was like, oh, this is big news about it. I'm like, it's all the same region. It doesn't really matter to me. But, well, so this is the new research, okay? So obviously the Book of Kells was likely to have been created 1,200 years ago in the Pictish eastern Scotland rather than on the island of Iona, according to new research that challenges long-held assumptions about one of the world's most famous medieval manuscripts. The Book of Kells is an intricate, illuminated account of the 4 Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, blah, blah. You can see it at Trinity College. It's still there. I saw it. I recommend you go see it. It's worth the money to pay to see it. Because
you slept on a bench to see it.
I did. That's right. I
Yes.
slept on a bench in the Long Library. That's right. I did. I was sleeping under the, and no, the guard did not kick me out. I was there lawfully. But I was under they had for 14th century music books that were out in there. I don't know if they're still on display because they change the display.
I like
every
to
time,
imagine
but-
that you painted wood grain all over your body and just lay on the bench while the guards didn't see.
Where it was January, it was in the middle of January 11 years ago, and there was not a soul there. There was not a soul in the university.
Yeah.
And they told us they were turning the page of the book, which, they have to take off the case. They have to get somebody to come and turn the page.
Yeah, it's a
They
big
said,
deal.
it's a big deal. They said, if you wait, you can wait for us to turn the page, and then you can come back and you can see a different page. And seeing it, as a facsimile really doesn't do it justice, because especially for the gold piece, you can see every stroke. It really is like the movie The Secret of Kells, where like everything's moving and you can really see how everything was created. So we went to the Long Library, which is right next to the Book of Kells, and I just laid down on a bench. It was like, they'll come and get me when they're done. And just sitting there I was the only one there, and I was sitting there weltering in the dust of time, letting it create a gorgeous patina on my face. And then they said, okay, we're done and you can come back now. And so, because if you continue through the Long Library, you exit, you leave. So instead they just got me and they came right back.
Nice.
And I got to see 2 different pages, and they let me take pictures of it too, which I don't think you are allowed to do anymore. So it was a very special time that I appreciated. But Dr. Victoria Woodworth, who will publish evidence in a forthcoming book, said the Picts were great artists producing highly sophisticated Christian sculptures, but it has generally been accepted that not a single Pictish manuscript survives. If the Book of Kells is made in Pictland, this rewrites our understanding of early medieval Scotland. Her research has led her to conclude that a monastery in Portmahammock, sorry if I said that incorrectly, Scots, Easter Ross, northwest of Inverness, is most likely the place for it to have been made. Its monks were manufacturing vellum, which is calfskin, obviously that is what manuscripts are made on, as well as creating elaborate carvings with complex inscriptions that match those of Kells, unlike manuscripts and carved inscriptions from Iona, which reflect plainness and legibility. Whitworth argues that while Kells Monastery was founded in 807 AD, it did not become important until later in the 9th century. It's too late for the Book of Kells to have been made at Kells. The Iona hypothesis, while worth testing, has no more intrinsic value than any other, she says. So this particular place flourished as one of the earliest Christian sites in Pictland from around 700 to 800. But then it was destroyed by fire, maybe in a Viking raid, we don't know. It's just hypothesized. Whitworth said archaeologists had discovered a fine sculptor's chisel at the site of the monk's vellum workshop, suggesting that bookmaking and stone carving were intimately interlinked. She pointed to a stone carving part of a larger cross slab now in the National Museum of Scotland, whose Latin inscription has parallels with the text in the Book of Kells. So there you go. So I went meh because to me the insular art is shared by that region. And if you go, well, it's insular art, that's great. It'd be wonderful if it is a Pictish manuscript. That'd be great. But insular art was very much shared all over that region. And so I just went, yeah, that's great. But the friend who pointed this out, oh my God, that means it's not Celtic. And I'm like, we need to pump the brakes on the Celtic. Because I also had this conversation with somebody the other day where I think you had posted something about the Gudenstrip cauldron depicting Cernunnos. We know that that's not true. The Gudenstrip cauldron, or a Hudenstrup, however you want to pronounce it, is not a Celtic piece. It comes from the Black Sea. It was mistakenly identified as Celtic, blah, blah, blah. It has elephants on it. But people lose their minds over them. Like, if the Book of Kells is Pictish and not Irish, I don't really care. That's great that we have better information about this now and that we are getting the information right. Because remember, kids, I don't care about fun. I care about truth. And so if this is actually a Pictish piece, that's wonderful. But it's all insular art and it's all shared anyway.
Well, but also as well, this notion of stone carving and manuscripts being closely connected is also unsurprising. I mean, in that sense, we see the manuscripts and the analogy of art in these manuscripts, especially, for example, when they're using gold paint as opposed to gold leaf, as being analogous to jewelry crafting as well, making of stuff using stone and precious stones and metal. And clearly there's lots of conversations going on between craftspeople of various disciplines, and they're all influencing each other. It's not, and if that's happening, you're definitely going to have people, as you say, across the insular aspect, across the islands, talking to each other. It
Makes sense.
Yeah, as you say, it is a bit more of a meh than a yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand why people are freaking out over this. I just go, okay. Yeah, I mean, great. Awesome.
Yeah. But also, it is awesome in so much as it's a great opportunity to talk more about what Pictish art and culture and the Picts actually were and are. But I suspect the cart is before the horse in terms of the reaction, because people are going, the Picts, do you mean the mysterious weird ones that the Romans couldn't conquer? You know, that kind of thing. People start to, so as you say, pump the brakes, slow down, just calm down. And think about the actual context of the book. Yeah,
I mean, they were all Christian at that point, so it's not like they were the mysterious last pagans of the British. No, they were all Christian by that point, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. Well, my second story is another themed. Nearly said food themed. Food feed. What? No. No.
Food themed piece.
Food themed. Yeah, not food themed. Food themed story. Except this is to wash down the feast. This is a bottle of wine. Archaeologists have made an incredible discovery after opening the world's oldest bottle of wine.
Oh, is it the Roman one?
This is the Roman one, yeah.
Oh, it's the can you lick it one. Ooh.
Taken by surprise when they analysed the bottle. Now, archaeologists made a striking discovery after opening the world's oldest bottle of wine. The bottle, which dates back 2,000 years, was discovered 6 years ago by archaeologists during the excavation of a Roman tomb in Carmona in Spain. Researchers discovered a liquid inside the urn, and after a series
Liquid
of
is the proper term for it because it is definitely still not wine.
No.
It's like probably vinegar 6 times over now.
It's kind of like oil, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. And after a series of tests, it was revealed that the liquid was a sherry-like wine dating back to the 4th century, making it one of the oldest ever found. However,
vintage.
Something more remarkable was discovered when the bottle was opened. It contained the cremated remains of a man.
Ooh, special surprise
Yeah.
if you're drinking. The barm on that is special.
Yeah, the legs. Yeah. Jose Rafael Ruiz Arabola, sorry, not Arborella, an organic chemist at the University of Cordoba, who led the analysis of the wine, said there was an even greater surprise when archaeologists opened the urn and saw it was full of liquid. Yes, the urn also contained cremated bones of a man and a gold ring decorated with a 2-headed Janus. It was put in afterwards, and the dead man wasn't wearing it when he was cremated. Okay. There was also what could be the metal feet of the bed on which the body was cremated. So sort of.
So they mixed the cremated runes together with the sherry, and then they sealed it.
Yeah. And then plonked a ring in and sealed. Yeah, the Spanish urn was uncovered by chance when a family stumbled upon a sunken tomb while working on their property in 2019. Happens to us all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And a magic portal down there.
Oh, it's so annoying. Like trying to do the gardening, and you're like, stop it. So the tomb contained 8 burial niches, 6 of which were filled with urns made from limestone, sandstone, or glass and lead. Which is another reason not to drink anything you find in there. No. Each contained the cremated bone remains from a single individual, while 2 were also inscribed with the names of the deceased.
All right, out of all the things that are in that bottle, the worst thing, it's not the cremated remains, it's not the vinegar sherry, but the lead. Yeah. That's the worst thing.
Hey, I would lick anything except a very old liquid which has been in the presence of lead. Yeah. Each contained those things, and the 2 deceased were named Hispane and Senecio. Senecio. One of the urns contained the remains of a woman, along with 3 amber jewels, a bottle of perfume, with a patchouli scent. Patchouli, that's the one.
Ugh, why patchouli?
Patchouli oils, yeah. And fragments of silk fabric, which is, again, pretty cool, pointing to connections across the world. The artifacts placed in the tomb were done according to a Roman belief that the dead would need them in the journey to the afterlife. Really?
Is that true?
Really?
Is that true, Mark?
The dead have been put in a bottle of wine, my friend. Do they really need... Okay, yeah.
Well, they don't need the lead in the afterlife, that's for sure.
No. It would lead them astray. Oh, no, it doesn't work. I guess I'm plumbing the depths
trombone
there.
Music for Mark.
I'm plumbing the depths there. Hard
the dance thing.
Oh dear. Roman funerals had 5 stages: a procession, cremation, and burial, a eulogy, a feast, and commemoration. It was believed that proper practice of the ceremonies and burial was crucial to prevent a malicious spirit from rising from the underworld and following you home.
Is that true? Is that true?
Well, it's something that a lot of surviving documents from various cultures like to imply.
Like to imply.
Like to imply, yeah. So have you had any malicious spirits follow you home?
It's interesting. Since you were going to talk about bonus stuff. So
Are
for
they
those
gonna
who've played,
like open a
so for
door
those who played
behind you?
Psychonauts, you will know. So this is so for those who cannot see,
Yes.
this is a bookmark
Yep.
that is essentially bacon. It's a bacon strip, but it's a
Yep.
bookmark. And so for those who've played Psychonauts, you know that if you wiggle it by your ear, somebody very special comes out to see you.
I'm not sure if you're still a psychic stowaway inside my head, Ford. But if you are...
Ooh, is that honey pepper boar bacon?
No, unfortunately, the spirits are not happening when I wiggle the bacon next to my ear.
No.
Unfortunately, I also got this bookmark that looks like a piece of cooked pasta.
Oh, that's cool.
And cool, but it's just plastic, but it actually looks real. It looks like a real piece of like lasagna.
Yeah.
But it's a bookmark, and it's to keep your noodle fresh, Mark. It's to keep your noodle fresh.
Hey.
So since Mark is going to show you his favorite artifact, I'm going to show you my favorite artifact of 2025, which is a
Okay.
book that my neighbor Danielle gave me. And what does it say, Mark? It says the book
Book
of.
of unusual knowledge.
And so the first fact on the front is it took about 30 million hours for Stone Age workers to build Stonehenge. Is that correct, Mark?
I
And so you may well think,
I
well,
I,
wait a minute,
I
how
think
much
I
of
think it's
this?
unknowable. Yes, but yeah.
And so I have been going through this because she's like, Michelle, you like really random facts. Go through this book and I'd fact check it. And I was like, boy, will I and how. And so some of the things are right, like it gets right the true origin of Christmas, and it gets right things like Christmas trees not being pagan, all that kind of thing. But then it says things like, oh, the Iron Maiden was a medieval practice, and I went, "Bow, bow." Incorrect. The Iron Maiden is a Victorian hoax, which is what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow with our friend Howard. And we're going to be talking about, so for our year end thing, we're going to be talking about fun Victorian hoaxes
Nice.
for with a like a death vibe. Things that Victorians set up or laid traps for people to find, like our good friend, the Crystal Skulls.
Yeah.
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 So, Mark, what's your favorite artifact of 2025?
Well, my favorite artifact is it's been reported in the context of the thing. I'll be honest. The thing that really drew my eye initially was the medieval toilet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love a medieval toilet. I love a toilet, frankly. I can't get enough of toilets, not least because they often contain things that tell you an awful lot about people's daily lives. But more to the point, in this story is the headline: "Fortune-telling die amongst castle's quirky finds," and this is a summing up from the final summer excavating at Auckland Castle in Bishop Auckland, County Durham, by people from my beloved Durham University. And amongst the various things that were found was a fortune-telling die. This is a D6, a jet die found, but it was not used to play games, supposedly. Instead, in the medieval period, people believed the item could help predict the future. Mr. Castling, who is seemingly fascinated and holding this object, I believe, in the picture, said that there were not many similar dice in the UK, and most were found in religious sites. When rubbed, jets sparks and gives off static. Okay. When you first say to people they had dice which they used in order to try and discern the future, that sounds completely alien to our modern rational world, he said, but it produces something that feels magical.
Yeah, well, I too, when rubbed, give off sparks and static.
Well, it is a hazard when you wear a range of fibers. I think it can happen. It can occur. So it's a whole range of things. There's a Dutch knife found on the site. We have
Whale baleen.
whale baleen, exactly, etc., etc. But the idea of a little object that actually also has that special effect to it is kind of cool. I would like to know more, I suppose, about this. They didn't really fully explain the
I just
future
want to know who
predicting.
threw it down the toilet. Possibly maybe somebody. See, this is what happens when you don't stick the landing in your campaign and you flub a dice roll and you take the dice and you chuck them in the toilet for being crap.
Yeah, why are we playing in the guard robe? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't think actually that the dice was actually found in the toilet. I think the toilet was part of the sum up. But it's an interesting object. I think it leaves me wanting to know more about the particular practice and why they're talking about the future, because it's a bit like, I suppose you're often drawn to comment, aren't you, on the scrying mirror.
John D. Scrying
Yeah.
and how it didn't really belong to him yet. It's
Yeah,
a very
exactly.
cool. It's a very cool object, and we know where it came from, but
Yeah.
there is no documentation that says that it was actually his. Although some people think it is his, but we don't actually know that.
No, exactly.
But it's super cool though.
Yeah, super cool. I like it. Is there anything that you're looking forward to in the coming year?
Besides my history book coming out, doing more Archaeo Scoop with everybody. I think this year we had a particularly fun time enjoying stories with everybody. We have lots of people who are now listening and watching to it. The interesting thing is, so I've been putting these as part of, like, Art Mark does Archaeo Scoop, a part of the Legends and Lectures feed, so people can watch them. And so as of today, I will give you a number. As of today, people have at least listened to it. I don't know exactly the watching because Mark handles that on his channel, but at least the listening, I can tell you that people have listened to this last year. 3,200 people around have listened to at least the audio only of Archaeo Scoop. So for everybody out there who's listening, why are you not commenting? And making but it says that there's a total of 3,200 downloads and 2,500 unique listeners. So for everybody who has been listening, thank you so much for joining us this year, and like and subscribe and do all the things that the tube tells you to do. And thank you for sending us some stories. So how about you guys, everybody listening and watching and listening, because I know you have a comment section, but please send us stories that you're interested in, or that your favorite stories of 2025, because I think we've all had a pretty interesting year.
Yeah.
And as the Victorians like to lie to people and say, "May you live in interesting times," is a Chinese curse, and that has never been
It's not. No.
a Chinese curse.
All that remains to say on top of that, I suppose, is to not so much from YouTube, I guess, but certainly it's a TikTok tradition, isn't it, to have these. And with that, the 2025 season comes to an end.
Good night.
Explosion! It's explosion.
We will see you guys in the new year. Take care. Bye.